This is H, the mascot of my channel.
Psych!
Or as I like to call him, Parallel Universe Me. Me. Me is a pronoun anyone would use to refer to themselves. Since anyone can use the word me can be referring to anyone. I've told you who this person is, but I haven't told you anything about me. This person is not me, but a mere replication of who I am. So who am I? Well, this guy's name is H. H is short for Heregoesnuttin, for the few of you that somehow couldn't piece that together. But where did this name I came up with come from? Heregoesnuttin. When was it first used? Heregoesnuttin is a compound word. A word made of, well, smaller words, like bookcase, or never. Kind of. I mean, never can be compound for not ever. Studying can also be a compound word for student dying. yes, thank you. I'll be here all night. Yeah, I was just kidding. You don't have to worry about dying as a student, because that'll never happen. See what I did there? And then you got words like doesn't. Doesn't is a contraction. The contraction smushes the two words does and not so tightly together that the second O doesn't have anywhere to fit in. So a much narrower punctuative character, the apostrophe, will have to take its place. The contractions won't and ain't are particularly special cases. Won't is a contraction of the two words will and not. But the two words got smushed so tightly together that not only did the I, O, and the two L's shatter, but the second O slipped into the air and landed in the I's place. This is why we say won't and not willn't. It also rolls off the tongue better. As for the case of the word ain't, it's technically a contraction, but it's also slang. It could be slang for several other contractions, actually. For instance, you could say, I ain't going nowhere near that thing. In this sentence, ain't is slang for am not. But you could also say, there ain't no way out of this place. In which case, ain't is slang for is not. The word ain't, you could argue, is a compound contraction. The word Heregoesnuttin may not be a contraction, but it's still a compound word, at least I would argue. Unlike most compound words, it's actually made up of 3 individual words instead of 2. These are the words here, goes, and nothing. Now, you're probably saying, but dude, your username is Heregoesnuttin, not here goes nothing, and to that I would say, that's what I said. And I'm right, I mean, nuttin means nothing. Google it. It's a shortened slang version of the word nothing. Now the name Heregoesnuttin actually might have a little more history than you thought. Let's turn back the clock. The year is 2014. I was in 3rd grade. To put things into perspective, I was in 9th grade when I wrote the script for this video, and I'm in 11th grade now. Anyway, yeah, so 3rd grade. I was probably like 8 or 9, somewhere around there, where I discovered this, social media? Yeah, I guess we could call it social media. Anyway, it's called Skit. There was Skit, and then there was Skit Kids, and of course, I used the kids version. Now, I'm not sure how popular this app was when I had it on the same tablet I used to make my animations, actually. It was the same one. But as of that year, I considered Skit Kids a pretty cool app to have. I mean, you could make these little drawings and drag them around on the canvas to do things like make them dance or talk. You needed to make an account in order to use the app, though, so I tried thinking of a name. Now, keep in mind, I'm like 8 or 9, so there weren't many accounts that I really had. I still never really found a name to settle on for every account that I'd used for myself. I tried to think of something unique, something that wasn't inspired or ripped off of anything, something that I could come up with completely on my own. And so I found the perfect username, Heregoesnuttin, with a lowercase h. But that still begs the question, why Heregoesnuttin? Well, even further back, before I even had the tablet I animated with, I used to be obsessed with making dozens, dare I say hundreds, of these fun little videos on my mom and dad's Apple devices. I made up all sorts of videos, like stories that I came up with on my own, just using the action figures that were lying around in my room, to guide videos on how to make the perfect combination of juices that were in my fridge to make the best tasting drink. There was a time where I took all 200 something of my Hot Wheel cars, put them in pairs, made like a racing tournament to see which car out of all my Hot Wheels were the fastest. And then there's one of my personal favorites. We had a toy dump truck that was big enough to fit my dad's iPod in it, so it looked like you were driving it. Now for me, stuff like this back then was like peak content. Like, there's nothing like it. The Photos app was my YouTube. But despite how different all these videos were from each other, there was one small thing I would do in each one of them. One thing I would say before doing whatever the video was about. That's right, you guessed it. Here goes nothing. I made loads of these Here Goes Nuttin videos on my dad's iPod and my mom's iPad, and eventually I got my own Nabi. Anyone remember what those things are? On that Nabi was the first video editor I ever learned how to use. And when I found out I could take the videos I already made and cut them up to make them look even cleaner, it was just perfect. Now after some time, when I upgraded to the Amazon Fire I used to animate, I tried looking for the same video editor that was on my Nabi. But I was too young to realize that the video editor that was on the Nabi was native to the Nabi, so it couldn't really be found on anything else. I even searched the App Store for the exact same name of the video editing app that was on the Nabi, but couldn't find the same one. But I found Skit instead. And boy was it something to stumble upon. It reminds me of what Master Oogway said, "There are no accidents." Now there were all types of videos I made when I first had Skit Kids. The earliest of which I can remember were little cartoons of two guys named Red, last name Dude, and Blue, last name Guy. Red Dude was the one that was always happy, and Blue Guy was the one that was always grumpy. Most of the cartoons were pretty simple. Here's how one of them went. So Blue Guy was just minding his business in an empty void, and he heard Red Dude yell in the distance, "Waffles!" Blue Guy storms up to him and goes, "Bro, why do you keep shouting waffles every morning?" "Aw, I can't help it, man. You know I love making waffles in the morning. I mean, just look at them." "Look at them." Yeah, alright. You can keep making your stupid waffles. Just could you please stop singing every morning? You're gonna give me a migraine." And as soon as Blue Guy leaves again, you guessed it, Red Dude starts singing again. Now, believe it or not, there actually was a reason Blue Guy was such a jerk all the time. Blue Guy actually met Red Dude on accident. You see, they just happened to live in the same town, and well, Red Dude owned a monster truck and he loved to drive around blasting loud rap music. And one time he lost control of the monster truck and he crashed into Blue Guy's house and woke him up. Don't ask how they became roommates from then on, I honestly don't know. But ever since that one incident, Blue Guy's been quite a jerkface. But he didn't stay that way forever. Here's how the series concluded. So Red Dude's been taking up the new hobby of making videos on Skit, like I was. He posts a few cool videos, but he noticed that Blue Guy is trolling him in the comments of every single one. So Red Dude makes a new video, and he's upset. Now this is scary, because in Skit, all you have to do is make one drawing, and you can use them for as many videos as you want. So I used the same drawing of Red Dude with a happy face in every single cartoon he was in. But this was the first one where we actually saw Red Dude with a mad face, which is really out of character for him. So now Blue Guy's getting cocky. He's like, oh, so if I can take advantage of Red Dude, I wonder if I can take advantage of the whole world. So Blue Guy sneaks into the White House and steals the president's computer to hack all of Skit. And that's when he runs into Red Dude. And when he finds out what Blue Guy's been up to, he knows it's up to himself to put a stop to it. And so, the two have an epic showdown, a fight for the fate of the world. And as a callback to one of the earliest episodes, Red Dude finishes Blue Guy off by crushing him with a giant waffle. Blue Guy finally gives in and decides to put an end to his grumpy evil ways. He repairs all the damage he's done, gives the president back his computer, surprisingly gets away with everything without being charged for a single war crime, but most importantly, he makes things up with the one man he's held grudges against his whole life. Red Dude. And for the first time, Blue Guy is redrawn with a smile on his face. From then on, Red Dude and Blue Guy were the best of friends. After that, I didn't touch Skit for quite some time. But years after I made all those videos, I really wanted to go back and try making some more. So I tried reopening Skit Kids one day, but nothing worked. In fact, Skit stopped working for everyone. I left a comment on Skid's YouTube channel about how sad I was to see the app go down. It's still there if you look. Now that I think about it, I guess I did predict the end of Skid, huh? So anyways, I'm in middle school now, searching YouTube for some other fun things to try. Some new kinds of creative videos to make. I began noticing trends of people making these cool stick figure animations with a program called Pivot. They looked really cool, and I wanted to try myself. But Pivot wasn't compatible on the tablet I used, so I got another app instead. Stick Nodes. You could see the first animation I ever made on another video on my channel, along with a pretty mid recreation, not gonna lie. And after some practice, I found a way to bring Red Dude and Blue Guy back back to life. But I called them Red and Blue now. It saved time. I also gave them superpowers. They were based off of powers I'd commonly see in some people's fighting tournaments that they animated using Pivot. Red had super stretching power, and Blue could turn to steel. I later changed this to telekinesis. Then I made some other guys with their own colors and their own powers, and I even turned myself into a stick figure. I also made my own fighting tournaments. Many fighting tournaments. Most of them were cheesy and choppy, but then I made one that was actually good. This is the one that's been posted on the Heregoesnuttin YouTube channel. It was my debut to YouTube and my most popular video to this day. By then, I had given every stick figure a name that alliterated to their color. Look up what that means. I'm tired of explaining it. So now, what used to be Red Dude and Blue Guy are now the rival fighters, Ryan and Blake. These two stick figures have been with me for years, and as much as they're starting to hate each other again, I still dearly love them both the most. Sorry, Lance. Of course, it's been years since I've started and stopped animating, and I've developed plenty of new characters, stories, and other kinds of creations since then. Only thing that's kept me from sharing so much is the constant fear of people taking my stuff while it isn't completely protected by things like copyright and all that. So until I work that all out, y'all gonna be getting the free trial of Heregoesnuttin. But anyway, yeah, that's the origin story of Heregoesnuttin, or at least everything my ego would allow me to talk about. But that still begs the question. Who is behind the works of Heregoesnuttin? Me. I am. Who am I? My name is...